So episode 4 of The Bad Batch dropped today, and I want to do a really quick breakdown of the episode, and then I've got a few things that I want to talk in depth about for the future of The Bad Batch. So yeah, let's go. So let's get on with this breakdown then. The Bad Batch are in their shuttle and they need to upgrade their ship, repair, refuel, etc, and they can only make it as far as Pantora. So again, they haven't managed to get to the planet they're trying to reach yet, which they said they want to hide and lay low on. This planet is Idaflor. I've probably pronounced that wrong, but I've just got it written down in a way that it looks like it would be pronounced like that. I obviously watched the episode a few hours ago. Once the Bad Batch land on Pantora, Hunter, Omega and Echo go on a supply run, whilst Wrecker and Tech are tasked to fix the ship. Echo is mistaken for a droid, so then he is sold for 3,000 credits, and he ends up finding himself with a bunch of astromechs and a protocol droid. He removes all of their restraining bolts, and they head back to the ship to help out. Whilst this is all happening, Omega gets lost, and Fennec Shand, who has a bounty to capture Omega, tries to escape with Omega, and on the way ends up knocking out Hunter and Wrecker, who left the ship to help find Omega. Hunter eventually saves Omega and gets Fennec off their tail, whilst they head back to the ship that is now fixed and everything they wanted to do is done, and they leave Pantora. So that is, like I said, a very quick breakdown of the episode, and now let's get on with the things I wanted to talk about. But just before we do that, I want to remind you to please subscribe if you are enjoying the content you're seeing so far, because I'm really trying to hit 5k quite soon. So, in terms of the bounty that is on Omega, who do we think placed that bounty? Well, I think it is very obvious that this is the Kaminoans who placed the bounty, as they spoke about needing Omega. Well, they didn't mention Omega, but everyone suspected that they were talking about Omega when they said they needed a specific enhanced clone for the phase 3 of their cloning, which is important to their survival and their cooperation with the Empire. So what they plan to do with Omega is obviously very big. Some people speculate force sensitive clones. I don't think so. I think it's just going to be like a army of more enhanced clones that have quicker learning, because it seems like Omega's enhancement is learning very quickly. This means that these clones that learn faster will need less training, and as the regular people are being brought into the Empire's army and being trained alongside these clones, I think this could lead to the explanation of how stormtroopers are so bad. If stormtroopers, regular people, are training alongside clones that learn really fast, obviously the clones that learn fast are going to get sufficient training and they're going to know as much as they need to know, but these people that learn at a normal speed won't learn enough to be good enough troopers. So that could explain why stormtroopers are so bad. Obviously there'll be a bit of time between a full stormtrooper army and the 50-50 maybe it's going to be with the clones and stormtroopers. So you may ask why didn't they just adjust the training now that these enhanced clones aren't there? Well, for starters, just like the Separatists, it appears the Empire prefer numbers over ability. It would also save time and money, which the Empire values very much. So I think this could lead to an explanation of how the stormtroopers are so bad. Let me know what you think of this particular theory. Now, the next thing that I want to speak about for this episode is Wrecker. What did everyone point out in the last episode? The fact that he hit his head and it hurt him, and he was complaining about it for a while, and everyone thought, well, not everyone, but a lot of people thought that it had something to do with his inhibitor chip. Well, what happened this episode when he had a fight with Fennec Shand? He hit his head again, and I think the fact that he's hit his head 2 episodes in a row just makes it obvious that that is going to be a big deal, or it's going to lead to a big deal. And for me, yep, I'm 100% certain that it's going to be about his inhibitor chip. It's going to play up in some way, and maybe they fix it, or they find out about it in time when Tech makes that scanner to see the functionality of their chips, or maybe it's too little too late. I personally believe that when they go back for Crosshair, which I think they will because they have kind of alluded to that, Wrecker is going to get captured and they are going to enhance the strength of his chip just like they did to Crosshair, and it's going to lead to a fight of the Bad Batch plus maybe Rex, Wolffe and Gregor if we see them versus Crosshair, Wrecker, and the 3 members of the elite squad we saw in the last episode, which I think could be very, very good. So again, let me know down below what you think of this theory. I think that it's almost guaranteed something's going to happen with his inhibitor chip, but it's just what's going to happen with it that is the debatable part. And the last thing that I want to speak of is what's next. I just rewatched the trailer to see if there's any clips that we haven't actually seen yet. There is a few. We are yet to go to Zygeria and WRECKER, which is the scrapping planet that we see Cal Kestis on at the start of the Jedi Fallen Order game. It's not confirmed that we're going to those planets, but it's highly speculated. We do see someone of Zygerian race in the trailer as well. So yeah, it's probably likely we're going to go to those 2 planets. But yeah, like I said, I rewatched the trailer and I tried to see if there was any clips that we haven't saw yet. And other than those 2, there's about 3 or 4 more max, and the rest we've already seen, so I'm really not sure what's next. And for someone like Fennec Shand that we got introduced to this episode, I'm not sure what's next either. For some reason, I just remember in the trailer having seen her team up with the Bad Batch, but no, I rewatched it like I said, and I was wrong. There's no clips of that at all. There's no clips of her outside of what we've seen in this episode, so her future is very open to anything. Obviously, she has a bounty to collect on Omega to return her to Kamino, so that could be what happens, but obviously... I'm saying but obviously too much, but obviously she needs to know where the Bad Batch are to be able to go and get Omega, and with them escaping the planet in this episode and removing the tracking signature or whatever it was on their ship, how is she going to know where they are? Well, probably in the same way she knew where they was this episode. Someone's going to give her information because they know that she's looking for this specific ship, so I could see Fennec Shand just appear in the same way she did this episode, just looking for Omega. So I think that's okay. I wouldn't mind that happening. It makes sense because obviously the Kaminoans want her. Maybe we see some other bounty hunters as well, also looking for Omega. That is what I want to happen. And then maybe we see Fennec fight another bounty hunter for the bounty of Omega. I think that could be really good. In terms of other characters we know we're going to see in the Bad Batch, such as Rex, I think he could be coming very, very soon. And then with Rex, it's likely we see Wolffe and Gregor, as we need to find out how they removed their chips and how they got to where they were in Rebels, which the chances are it's going to happen at some point in the Bad Batch. And like I said, I think that needs to happen relatively soon, because since the first episode, I think all the ones following it have not been anywhere near the same level, including this one. So one way to bump up the hype again for this series, one way to bump up the quality of an episode back to the level it was in episode 1, which was so good, give us Rex. I think Disney is smart enough to realise that these last 3 episodes have not been anywhere near the level of episode 1, so I think it's likely that the next one is going to be huge to keep us interested. So with that being said, that is my episode breakdown and my future predictions of the Bad Batch following episode 4. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like. Whilst you're down there, please do subscribe. Like I've mentioned, I'm really trying to get to 5k, because that is a huge milestone to me. Like I mentioned in my last video, at the start of this year I set myself a target of getting to 500 subs by the end of this year, and the fact that I'm nearly at 5k, nearly halfway through the year, is crazy to me. So yeah, whilst you're down there as well, leave a comment on what you thought of my theories in this video, what you thought of the Bad Batch episode, and also go to my community page and vote on the poll that I will be posting about the same time this video releases. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and in a bit.